letters, I found a letter from the band themselves. Herdman, it says. Who beeth this Herdman I was made to listen to on the wimp, wet and sloppy spot the other week? Tears filled these old eyes. Poor Mally, having to play the same old records every week, whose only joy in life is to give Kiss their rightful slagging off. What this show needed was Brands Hatch, we decided. So to right this great wrong, and it goes on, they explain the whole story of how they went and had several pints of real ale, recorded a tape at Guardian Studios with Terry, and then sent it to me. And the band consists of bass guitarist Gordon Potts, guitarist Brian Potts, drums John Paxton, I even sent a photograph of them actually, and vocals Tony Wardle. Of course, the letter says I couldn't finish without thanking Stephen Brown, who takes a valuable space in the Hatch van, never buys around, and drank my homemade wine whilst I was writing this letter. Signed by Gary Anderson, who's, he's actually a member of the Brands Hatch fan club. It's not the band themselves this letter's from. Would you please play something off this tape, he says. And I listened to the tape actually at home last night, and it really is extremely good indeed, so I thought I'd play several tracks off it. This is a number called Brands Hatch. Good indeed, I'd say. Those were Brands Hatch, the name of the band, and that was the name of the song too, which was recorded at Guardian Studios. Not Peter Lee, as I said before, Pity Me in Durham, and extremely well produced. Also there by Terry Gavigan. I think there'll definitely be another track from that tape before the end of the programme. The band actually come from Sunderland, as I said before, made up of Gordon Potts, Brian Potts, John Paxton, and Tony Wardle. And I'm still trying to figure out who actually wrote this letter to me, whether it was Gary Alderson of the Brands Hatch fan club, or whether it was the Bubble, or whether it was the band themselves. And say at the bottom, speaking of rumours, what happened to Pat from our agency? You were supposed to phone her, remember? I don't remember that at all, but I'm very sorry if I was. Obviously didn't get the message. Never mind, I did get the tape, and I've played some of it, and I'll be playing some more a little bit later on, I think, fellas. A local band from Sunderland, in fact, called Brands Hatch, who sent me a tape that they'd recorded at Pity Me in Durham, at Guardian Studios, in fact, produced by Terry Gavigan. And it really has some extremely good stuff on indeed, so I promised I'd play another track from it, and this is one called Halcyon Days. Extremely good, that. Really good band. Brands Hatch there from Sunderland, and a number called Halcyon Days from their demo tape, which they sent me to play this week. And if you want to catch Brands Hatch playing, I gather they're likely to be appearing at Rumours or the Old 29 in Sunderland, although I've got no particular dates for that at the moment. But if you want to know more about them, I think it says here you can write to Gary Alderson of the Brands Hatch fan club. Unfortunately, it says his address is the Pigeon Loft, Sunderland, which doesn't seem to be very much help to anybody, I wouldn't have thought, unless you've got to carry a pigeon that you think might make it there. Right, the tape in the programme next week, but that's all from Brands Hatch anyway for this programme. To me by a local band from Sunderland to be precise, called Brands Hatch, and I played a couple of tracks from that tape and promised that I'd probably play some more next week, which is now this week of course, and so I'm going to do that. Just to remind you, the band, as I say, they're from Sunderland, and they're made up of Tony Wardle, Brian and Gordon Potts on lead guitar and bass guitar respectively, and also on vocals, and John Paxton on drums. And this is another track from their tape called Take What You Want. Brands Hatch from Sunderland, recorded live at Guardian Studios, Pity Me in County Durham, and a song called Take What You Want, and no doubt I'll play another track from that next week. I think I've got one more that I haven't played yet. Thanks very much for that tape, fellas. I've enjoyed it very much indeed. Right, I've got a request over there who would have legged it up to the top of the street and he'd starting outside the studios. Any chance of another track? I think there's every chance actually, fellas. Signed by Haggis the Bricky, Crazy Rabbit Smith, Geordie, Sam the Vamp Bod, and Seamus Day, who's not a new member. He's just changed his name from Sean the Leprechaun. Interested to hear that. Dear Mal, I thought I'd write to you and try and clear up a few points which sounded rather confusing through no fault of your own regarding Brands Hatch on the programme the other week. Firstly, the letter you received was actually written jointly by Gary Alderson and Tony Wardle, our vocalist, also known as his nickname Bubble. As for the fan club, well, that was actually just a joke, hence the silly address of the Pigeon Loft. I thought as much. But if anyone did want to contact us, I'm sure they could get in touch with either you or Terry at Guardian Studios at Pity Me for an address, as we have no agent at the moment. Anyway, we'd like to take the opportunity to thank you for playing our tape on the hot and heavy spot, as a little publicity is always very helpful for a band in our position. Would you please give a mention to our two hard-working roadies, Jerry and Steve, next time you play our tape? Thanks very much, Brian of Brands Hatch. Thanks for that letter, Brian. That does clear up 1 or 2 points. And I am going to play some more of your tape, because there's a track I still haven't played yet. It's called No Return. The excellent Brands Hatch from Southwick in Sunderland, and a number called No Return from their demo tape recorded at Guardian Studios Pity Me in County Durham. And if you don't mind, fellas, I'll hang on to that tape for another couple of weeks yet, because I think I could well do with playing more tracks off it. In actual fact, I think I've played all the songs that are on it. There are 4 songs on it, but I think I'll play them again. I've been getting some extremely complimentary letters from people in the past couple of weeks who really do think it's worth listening to, that tape. Right, I got a request, House Estate in Sunderland. Here's another letter from the band, thanking you for all the airplay and all the nice things you've said about us, the letter says. To get to the point of the letter, I wonder if it'll be possible for you to give our gig a mention over the air. We'll be playing in Sunderland at Rumours Nightclub on Wednesday the 19th of August. The show will start at approximately 11:30 in the evening, although the doors will be open before 10 o'clock. Admission will be a mere 50p, but this also includes an excellent heavy metal disco, which goes on till 2 in the morning. It's run by a lad called Keith, who might just get the pints in if he hears his name over the air. Okay, Keith, you hear your name over the air there? If you're getting the pints in for Brands Hatch. The band will play a set consisting of their usual numbers, although of late we've been working on a new set consisting of what we think to be some of the best stuff we've ever played. So that should be quite interesting. And the letter's signed, of course, by Tony Wardle of Brands Hatch, which all seems like an extremely good reason for me to play yet another track from their tape that they sent me. So this is Brands Hatch. Brands Hatch there from Sunderland, and a song from the demo tape that they sent me a few weeks ago entitled Brands Hatch. And if you want to catch the band later on next week, on Wednesday night in fact, that's the 19th at Rumours Club in Sunderland. You can see them there at 11:30 in the evening. The admission will be 50p, and that also includes an excellent heavy metal disco run by somebody called Keith, they say. So if you want to see what they're like live, it should be well worth getting down to. That, I'm afraid, wraps it up for another 2 hours.